anybody's at home, can you text me a quick sound check? Looking at you, Sarah. All their tier 2 and 3 teams are like different names. These clubs only have tier 1.
That's great.
Yeah.
They're basically scouting throughout the year to figure out who they want to give offers to.
I think, and then like their spring teams. All right, we're back at Bowling Green. Freida, semifinals. So it'll be Blue Jackets versus St. Louis Blues. Winner advances to the final to play Penn's Elite. Loser goes home. The girls are coming on the ice now. For those following the tournament at home, Penn's Elite defeated Windy City earlier 5-2 in the other semifinal. Windy City scored a couple late in the last minute or two of the third period to get on the scoreboard. So Penn's Elite's in the finals. The finals will be at 120. Whoever wins this game will meet them. This is a prelude for 2 weeks from now. St. Louis will be in Columbus for 3 games. Blue Jackets parents are just happy they don't have to make the drive to St. Louis. Looks like Emmy has taken the majority of warm-up, so expect to see her in goal. So St. Louis on the way to the semis here, beating Cleveland, Windy City, and Madison Capitals. Blue Jackets lost to the Pens, but yesterday beat Dallas Stars Elite, along with Team Illinois. So 2-1 on the weekend. St. Louis is 3-0, winning a few tight ones. Puck's about to drop. We've got, looks like a similar line to yesterday. Charlotte at center, Kenzie right wing, Harper Jewell on left wing. And starting in the back is Graceland and Cammie. Kenzie and Charlotte win the face-off, enter the zone. St. Louis clears the zone out to neutral ice to Graceland. Graceland clears the zone up to Kenzie, who loses it to St. Louis. St. Louis takes it from the mid-ice all the way back. Kenzie on a tough forecheck wins it. Now battling. St. Louis gets it back. Cammie at the blue line. Blue Jackets hold the zone for the time being, and St. Louis just chips it clear back to Cammie, who's playing deep defense at that point. Cammie to Harper in the neutral ice. Harper knocks it in just inside the blue line, and St. Louis chips it back out to Graceland in her defensive role. So Blue Jackets forwards got a shift change during that sequence. So Peyton is out there with Eloise and Cora. St. Louis has it back behind their goal in their defensive end, looking for a breakout. And Blue Jackets maintain it in the zone. It's in deep with Cora battling in the corner. So Eloise got it out of the corner. Oh, shot and save by St. Louis. Good shot by Eloise. It was low. No rebound. Anya to Eloise. Eloise in the slot. Shot. Blocker save by St. Louis. So Anya from the blue line. Pass it into the slot to Anya. And what a good look. And the St. Louis goalie made a good save. Reggie, Elise, and Callie out with Mollendor and Ava back on defense. Face-off won by St. Louis. St. Louis looks like an icing was waved off. Dump it in deep. St. Louis has it. Throws it in front of the net and goal. St. Louis. St. Louis won it on the forecheck, threw it in front of the goal, and it was either an own goal or maybe came in off a stick. So 1-0 St. Louis, 9:47 left in the first. St. Louis wins the face-off, then they throw it deep into their own defensive zone. And it looks like Callie's going to get called for a tripping call. Blue Jackets are going to be on the penalty kill early in the first. 1 minute penalties in PIP tournaments. Coach Nick's got Reggie, Elise, Ava, and Mollendor out there on the penalty kill unit. St. Louis wins the faceoff back to the defense. D-to-D pass on the blue line. Defenseman just dumps it deep, and it's won by St. Louis behind the goal. So, a good scoring opportunity for St. Louis. One from behind the net, found a player in the slot. Emmy makes the save. Graceland and Cammie come in on the defensive unit. Elise and Reggie stay out. St. Louis wins the face-off back to their D again. They throw it into the middle. Unable to get a shot. St. Louis retains possession of the offensive zone. Now we've got St. Louis again. Another shot deflected off Graceland, it looked like. Wide of the goal. Puck stays in the offensive zone. St. Louis has it again. Coming up to Emmy. Save by Emmy. And Elise is out on a breakout, taking it up through neutral ice herself and dumps it in deep. Looks for a change. So, Kenzie and Charlotte out. Elise and Reggie off. Callie's out of the bench, and now we've got Graceland's all by herself. Got St. Louis in a shift change. Misses wide on the shot. Good awareness by Graceland. She noticed that they were in a shift change and had a lot of ice and took it. Got a good scoring opportunity, just missed wide. St. Louis enters the zone. Charlotte on a good back check. Moves it forward to Harper, who loses it in the offensive zone, but Blue Jackets are in their offensive zone. Just for a brief second, St. Louis breaks it out. And offside St. Louis. So we'll get a reset. 7:48 left in the first. 1-0 St. Louis. Charlotte, Harper, Kenzie, Sid, and Anya are out on defense. St. Louis enters the zone. Harper brings it out of the defensive zone. D-to-D pass. Anya looking to get it out. Chips it up against the wall. Held in by the defender of St. Louis. Charlotte goes and wins it. Now there's a battle on the wall in the offensive zone for St. Louis. And St. Louis manages to get it somewhat deep in their zone. Sydney retrieves it and throws it up the wall. St. Louis keeps pressure in their zone. Charlotte blocks a shot from the defenseman. That looks to be, Charlotte got tackled from behind, no call. Got bodies down behind the goal. Blue Jackets just can't seem to get out of their zone. All right, we got a block shot again from Blue Jackets on the defenseman. Anya's going to try to take it out herself this time. Gets held up at the blue line. Blues keep it in again. Just continue to wall battle, and Blue Jackets unable to get it out of their defensive end. Finally they do. Charlotte throws it deep. It looks good to be an icing call. That gets waved off as well. So Blues retrieve it in the backside of their defense, and they're heading back up ice. Cora gets it in the mid-ice, loses it. St. Louis is unable to get it in. Oh, now they do. So they dump it deep, St. Louis, and Olivia retrieves it in the back wall and loses it in the back wall. St. Louis in the slot, shot wide. St. Louis throws it across ice to the winger who wins it in the corner. Now back to their D. All alone, their defense shoots it from the blue line, ricocheted wide. Retrieved by St. Louis. We got another shot, saved by Emmy. And Blue Jackets just chip it out of the zone, and St. Louis retrieves it again. St. Louis defender heads up into their offensive zone with a head of speed. Flips a backhand shot up against the side of the net. Blue Jackets chip it out of the zone, but Blues very quickly dump it back deep again. So we got Cammy and Olivia are out there right now on D. And Callie's line with Elise and Reggie are up at forwards. St. Louis continues to keep it in their offensive zone, knocking it deep and winning forechecks. We've got a whistle and a stoppage of play. It looks like they're going to call Cammy for a penalty. She was not near the puck in any way. It looks like a cross-check call, maybe battling in front of the net. St. Louis will go back on the power play for the second time today. Kenzie and Charlotte out as the forwards in the penalty kill unit. Olivia and Graceland on the defensive end. And St. Louis clears, Blue Jackets knock it out of their defensive zone into neutral ice, and St. Louis resets. Charlotte and Kenzie are able to keep it in. 40 seconds left in the play. Olivia shoots it from the blue line wide into the corner. St. Louis throws it all the way down and had a winger sitting on the far blue line. And they keep it in their offensive zone. Kenzie clears the zone briefly to St. Louis. St. Louis offside. So 20 seconds left for Cammy in the penalty box. Charlotte and Kenzie will head off, as will the defensemen. We got Anya, Sydney, Cora, and Peyton will be out there for the final 20 seconds of the penalty kill. So St. Louis wins the face-off, back into their defensive end, where they retrieve it and head back up into their offensive end. Anya on the back wall wins it. Reverses position, gets some free ice. St. Louis knocks it right back into the deep. St. Louis maintains possession in their offensive zone. Throws one's in the middle, one-timer off possibly the post or off of Emmy. St. Louis dumps it deep again. Eloise in the corner. Eloise up against the wall to the St. Louis defender, who throws it cross ice to a wide open wing. Shoot, fires, saved by Emmy. 1:49 left in the first. 1-0 St. Louis. Reggie, Callie, and Elise back out. Looks like Olivia and Ava will join them on the defensive end. St. Louis wins the faceoff. Throws it back to the D, whiffs on a shot. He gets it back for another one. Wide, off the back wall, excuse me. Another shot and saved by Emmy. Callie wins the faceoff to Reggie. Reggie and Elise are able to chip it out of the zone, but maintains possession through St. Louis in the neutral ice. So St. Louis resets. Offsides, Blue Jackets. Charlotte, Kenzie, and Harper head back out with some advice from Coach DeFer. And we're going to have Gracelyn and Cammie joining them on the back. Let's see if they do the face-off play where Kenzie runs across and wins it. That seems to be a combo that's been working good. They try it again. Kenzie's unable to get it. St. Louis grabbed it and dump it into their zone where Gracelyn goes and wins it. Oh, we've got two bodies down, and it looks like they may call Blue Jackets again. So Gracelyn went shoulder to shoulder. The St. Louis girl fell, and it looks like they're going to call Gracelyn. It's a tough call. So third power play of the first period for St. Louis. It looked like a 50-50 puck race. But as we know in U12 hockey, when somebody falls, the odds of a call get much higher. Charlotte and Kenzie stay out in the penalty kill. Cammie and Anya join them. So St. Louis wins the faceoff back to the D. Shot from the blue line. St. Louis in the slot gets another chance. Some traffic in front. Either Emmy got a save or hit a body in front. They continue to move the puck around the zone on us. Shot scored. Defenseman for the Blues threw it into the face-off dot area where a winger was wide open. It looked like they went 5-hole on Emmy to make the score 2-0. So Gracelyn's penalty is over. Harper's out. Back to 5-on-5. (2-0) St. Louis. There's 32 seconds left in the first period. And the clock still got the penalty on there, and they know they're kicking off. Okay. So Kenzie gets it off, wins it off the face, beats the defender, shoots. Oh, glove save. Glove save. So Charlotte face-off right to Kenzie, who beat a defender and got a shot. The Blues goalie didn't have much trouble collecting it. Charlotte wins it to Harper this time. Harper tries to get it deep, kind of gets held up. They keep it in the zone. Harper throws it in the middle. There wasn't a Blue Jackets player, and St. Louis breaks out, crosses center ice, and then dump it deep. 5 seconds left in the first. St. Louis continues to throw it deep, and that'll be the end of the first period. So end of the first, 2-0 St. Louis. You're good. On the clock, second period about to begin. St. Louis spent the majority of the first period in their offensive zone. Let's see what adjustments Coach Nick will make. Using every last second. So, to start the second, looks like we're going to have Peyton's line with Eloise and Cora out there. Defensive, Olivia and Ava leave the bench to come out, start on the defensive duo. Coach defer over, talking to Kenzie and Charlotte. Figure out something for the second period here. St. Louis brings it into their zone. Maintain possession. Continue to maintain possession. Olivia battling in the corner. Pins her opponent up against the wall. It's going to get called with a penalty, which is a wild call. Oh, goodness. All right, so the St. Louis player kind of put herself up against the wall, and Olivia pinned her. It looks like she's going to call some holding, maybe. Not often seen call in U12, especially up against the wall. Looked like the way they're coached to do it. So this will be the fourth, if not fifth, power play for St. Louis in the first 13 minutes of the game. Peyton and Cora, Cammy and Graceland. So Peyton takes it out of the zone herself. She's going to take it all the way up into the offensive ice, where she gets held. Not a holding call, different holding. Loses the puck to St. Louis, who's unable to get it out. So Cammy keeps it in the zone. St. Louis retrieves it. St. Louis wants another penalty called. Didn't get it. Good job by Peyton on a back check. So St. Louis is unable so far to get it in their zone, and they do finally in an offside. Callie and Elise head out with Anya and Sydney for the penalty kill. There's 16 seconds left on the penalty of Olivia's holding. St. Louis wins another draw, keeps it in their zone, moves the puck to the far side. Similar play to what they scored on last time. They're sneaking a winger back at the faceoff dot. Shot from the blue line, Emmy pad save. Another shot by St. Louis over the net. Blue Jackets clear the zone to Elise. Elise gets it off, across the mid-ice line, and dumps it in deep, where Olivia was heading out of the box, so she actually retrieves it deep in the zone. Their offensive zone, excuse me. And St. Louis is able to break out with the center. Anya did a good job stopping a rusher on a one-on-one. He tried to go between her legs, and Anya was able to kick it. And then an offsides ended up happening out of that. So Charlotte's line back out there. Just Kenzie and Harper. Graceland and Cammy back on defense. Charlotte throws it in the middle, but just a few feet behind Kenzie. St. Louis wins it and then dumps it deep. St. Louis maintains possession, throws it in the slot. Scrum in front. Emmy lost track of the puck. It was back behind her, it looked like. And Olivia found it, cleared it. But St. Louis still has possession. And they're able to keep it in the zone. Shot from the line, wide of the goal. St. Louis throws it back in the middle. Everybody loses track for a second. Graceland's going to break it out. Unable to clear the zone. St. Louis knocks it back in deep. Pins Blue Jackets back against the back wall again. Harper on the half wall gets it taken away from St. Louis. St. Louis back behind the goal. St. Louis keeps it in the zone, keeps a good forecheck on. St. Louis continues. Finally, Cammy clears the zone. Back to St. Louis defenseman. Kenzie's out on a forecheck, so Kenzie harasses Charlotte steals it, gets a shot off wide. Charlotte's down. We've got people yelling at refs. Charlotte got taken down on the shot, it appears. Kenzie won it, and then St. Louis throws up the ice where Olivia got tackled. And the Blues player got it. They take it up for a shot, and Emmy saved to hold it. So, an interesting sequence. We've got 5 penalties on the Blue Jackets, 0 on the Blues, and it looked like Olivia either fell on her own or got tackled out in the mid-ice and led to almost a breakaway for St. Louis. Blue Jacket fans are not happy with refs. Olivia to Eloise. Eloise clears the defensive zone and St. Louis D recovers it. St. Louis enters their zone again, offensive zone. Back to their D. D to the corner. St. Louis dumps it deep. Olivia in a battle in the back wall. Into the slot. Blues player gets it, shoots, blocked by Ava Cohen, it appeared. And St. Louis pass it into the slot. The player whiffed on it, and the puck went all the way back into their defensive end. And no trouble, St. Louis getting it out of their defensive zone and bringing it back into their offensive zone. Nice back check by Cora, led to both players getting on the ice. St. Louis wins it on the forecheck. Cora to Callie. Callie chips it out of the zone herself, and then St. Louis puts it back into their offensive zone. Callie to Reggie. Reggie gets it into the zone, loses it. Sid throws a shot that was intercepted by St. Louis, and St. Louis is back off to the races. Anya stops the momentum of the attacker, and we got a corner battle with Callie, Anya, and 2 St. Louis players. Callie takes it away, up to Elise on the wall, it chips it free, back to St. Louis' defense and neutralized. So Blue Jackets haven't been able to maintain a rush. They have had a couple scoring opportunities in the second period here. The St. Louis deep pass. They enter the zone, shoot inside the blue. Emmy saved it and then left it there for our defense to take. And the puck maintains in the St. Louis zone. Sydney takes it back, throws it across the ice in front of the goal. St. Louis defender gets it, shoots it, blocked. Gets it again. They try to dump it deep. So Charlotte wins it, and it's a one-on-one with Charlotte with Elise. Throws it to Elise just in front of her. Elise gives it back to Charlotte, who loses it. St. Louis is able to dump it deep again. They call off icing. Cammy throws it all the way down the length of the ice. St. Louis wins it and breaks out. There just hasn't been much resistance for St. Louis getting it out of their defensive zone. They maintain possession in their offensive zone. Shot from the defensive line is blocked by Charlotte. Another defensive shot. Kenzie was in the grill of the shooter. And Emmy with an easy save. 11 seconds left in the second. 2-0 St. Louis. St. Louis wins the draw. Back to their defense. Missed wide on the pass. The defender just dumps it into the corner. Where Olivia takes it, reverses, throws it back to Harper on the far side. Harper chips it out. It's going to get out of the zone. Kenzie on the chase. And St. Louis just throws it back into their offensive zone with a skater deep into the zone for an offside. So the face-off will be right outside the blue line. As Charlotte's line goes off and Peyton's line with Cora and Eloise joins them. Looks like we got Olivia and Ava are in the back right now. Eloise got it through a backhand pass that got intercepted in center ice. St. Louis dumps it in deep yet again. Where Olivia with the head of steam takes it. Olivia's taking it herself. Loses possession. Alright, so Olivia was taking it herself, lost possession, bobbled it. St. Louis threw it out of their zone. It hit Eloise right on the blue line, but they're going to call offsides. St. Louis wins the draw, but we do maintain it in the zone for the Blue Jackets where Cora dumps it deep. And Peyton's on the forecheck. Cora wins it. Cora in the center. Gets held up while trying to shoot. Gets in front. Eloise with a shot off the side of the net. Another one off the other side of the net. Cora throws it to Anya, who's not inside the zone, and has to reset. Good job by Anya maintaining possession. Up to Eloise. Eloise loses it against the wall, and St. Louis retrieves it, puts it into their offensive end. Now Sydney's got it. Sydney's going around. She's got a head of speed. Sydney's going to take it herself. Loses it at the center ice. Matt Swanton's looking for more passing. It's in the offensive zone for the Blue Jackets. Momentarily, and St. Louis is able to get it out. Anya throws it to Sid. Went between her legs. Not sure she was looking for it. So St. Louis maintains it in their offensive zone. Cora retrieves it. Backhand pass. Cross ice up to Reggie. Reggie battles in the back wall. St. Louis wins it. St. Louis throws it to Cammie. Cammie on her defensive spot. Takes a shot. Oh, tip from a St. Louis person just wide of the goal. And we're going to get our first power play for the Blue Jackets. Another, I don't know. We'll take a call any way we can get it right now, but it was a pretty soft body call. Again, I think it was Elise that went down with the contact, so that got the hand up. But we'll take it. 36 seconds left in the second. Minute penalty on the board. So the power play line is going to be Cora, Charlotte, and Kenzie. So we win the face-off. Cora tips in the slot. Her shot gets tipped. Olivia wins it. Shot off some bodies in front. Kenzie retrieves it in the corner, takes it in the middle, gets it tipped off. Kenzie's on the ice. St. Louis player on the ice in the corner. Blue Jackets maintain possession of their zone for the time being, but St. Louis now wins it and starts skating it out themselves. All right, end of the second period. No scoring in that period. Refs give us one power play. Refs are giving an explanation to the Blues parent in the penalty box about He doesn't like the call apparently in St. Louis. He's getting an explanation. 2-0 St. Louis going into the third. Blue Jackets will be on a 25-second power play to start the third. For those that weren't at the beginning, what's on the line here is a trip to the finals against Penn's Elite. Penn's beat Windy City earlier today. Box, the St. Louis parent continues to chirp at the refs about the call. Jackets can generate some offense. Harper, Kenzie, and Charlotte at forwards. Graceland and Cammie at defense. Start the third period. 25-second power play for the Blue Jackets. Blues win the draw. Cross center ice and dump it deep, where Cammie will retrieve it. Cammie takes it herself, loses it at the half wall. Harper wins it. Kenzie calls for it. Kenzie gets it. Kenzie beats the defender. It's Kenzie. Oh. Kind of bad angle, turns, loses possession, was unable to get a shot. She chose not to take a shot on a bad angle. Blues now take it out, and this. So the Blues player took it through center ice, made a move on our defender, got a breakaway, and put their third goal in the back of the net. Tough change. Looks like Blue Jackets might have had a scoring opportunity there, lost it, and St. Louis scores. So 3-0 St. Louis, 11:20 left in the game. St. Louis wins the face-off, enters their zone. St. Louis maintains possession. Olivia stops the St. Louis player on the bumper from getting in front of the goal. Olivia pulls it up to Elise, gets through Eloise into the offensive zone for Blue Jackets where they maintain it. Shot from the blue line, hits a skate, knocks it to a Blues player, and St. Louis brings it into their offensive zone. Battle in the corner. Blue Jackets win the puck to Eloise. Eloise chips it out and to the St. Louis defender. St. Louis resets into their defensive end. The defender with a full head of speed. Nice job by Callie to use her body to stop that momentum, and then they lose possession of the Blue Jackets. Anya rims it to Reggie. Reggie unable to collect it. St. Louis keeps it in their zone, throws it behind the net. Anya's got possession. Anya makes a move, gets a pass blocked. To Elise. Elise gets it out of the zone. And offside St. Louis. So So Elise was looking for Reggie, just a little bit ahead of her. Cleared the defensive zone, and then St. Louis knocked it back in for an offside. Elise up to Reggie. Reggie's out ahead of the play slightly. They wave off icing. St. Louis rims it. And they clear the zone. It's back into their offensive. St. Louis throws it in deep. Elise to Callie. Bobbled. St. Louis retrieves it in the center ice. Takes it in for a shot. Emmy got a save or just wide. St. Louis maintains possession. Callie wins it on the half wall. Up to Charlotte and just behind Charlotte slightly. Kenzie out of the box. We got Kenzie and Charlotte on a 2-on-2. Charlotte shoots into right into the net of into the chest of the goalie. Kenzie was there for a rebound. Looked like she might have made contact with the goalie and is getting a scolding from the ref. So they're going to put Kenzie in the box for what they're calling a slash. She must have made contact with the goalie, looking for a rebound there. So penalty number 6 on the Blue Jackets. And there's been some interesting calls today. All right, on the penalty kill, Charlotte, Graceland, Cammie, and Harper. St. Louis has possession. Shoots from the blue line, saved by Emmy. Shot from the blue line wide. St. Louis up to their other defender, dumps it into the corner to Winger into the slot. Good job by Cammie getting a stick on that shot. St. Louis from the blue line. Harper blocks that shot. St. Louis now, another shot close off a skate. So 3 or 4 straight block shots in a row by the Blue Jackets. But St. Louis continues to maintain possession. Shot over the goal. Blue Jackets chip it out, dump it deep. Penalty's over. Kenzie's heading across, back to the bench. Shift change happening while Charlotte holds down fort. 5-on-1 with Charlotte fighting a battle on the back wall. Now we've got some fresh slaves out there. Cammie shoots from the blue line. It's blocked. Olivia wins it. Gets some space. Makes a move. St. Louis poke checked it away. Then tripped Olivia. Offsides Blue Jackets. So, she made contact with the goalie with a stick. What was a slap? Yeah, I don't know. She hasn't been in the penalty box all weekend. She won, I guess. So that was an offside. It didn't look like an offside. It looked like Peyton got a foot back on the blue line, but that's the way things go. So St. Louis wins the draw, dumps it in deep, and win the forecheck race. St. Louis behind the goal, into the slot. It's knocked away by somebody. The Blue Jackets get it out of the zone. Peyton, center ice. Eloise throws a backhand pass to Cora. It's intercepted. Peyton wins it in the offensive zone, throws it around. Eloise is on the forecheck. St. Louis wins it. St. Louis is moving it up. Olivia back in our defensive end, makes a move. We've got 100 players on the ice for St. Louis. No call. The puck went right in the middle of their shift change. Sometimes you see that called, not today. St. Louis wins the battle in their offensive zone and maintain possession, and then flip it backwards out of the zone where they reset. Good forecheck by Elise. Oh, Blue Jackets almost got possession in their zone. Elise disrupted that play. Now St. Louis has it. St. Louis makes a move on a defender. Shot close up wide. Elise battle is on the wall with Anya's help. St. Louis continues to maintain it in their offensive zone. Anya's free. Knocks it up ahead to Reggie, who's unable to collect it. Anya got knocked over, heads off. Cammy's on. Cammy gets the puck. Cammy's looking up, looking to just take it herself at this point. Nobody can bring it to. Good job by Cammy to enter the zone. Oh, good play there. Oh, off the post. Awesome. Callie threw one to Reggie. Reggie tipped it. He may have tipped it a second time, but it went off the far post. Good scoring opportunity for the Blue Jackets. Good look by Callie to see Reggie there sitting on the back post. Mackenzie off the bench wins it, runs into a bunch of Blues players. They get it into the offensive zone, but not for long. Cammy's doing some work herself out of the back. St. Louis is going to be an icing this one. They've waved off almost every icing this game, but that one they decided to stick with. 3-0 St. Louis, 3:50 left in the third. Charlotte, Kenzie, and Harper are out there with Cammy and Graceland on D. Charlotte wins the tip to Graceland. Graceland shoots it from the foot. Oh. This time there was a rebound. Kenzie takes a little beating going in there for a chance at it. They don't put her in the penalty box this time. So we pull the goalie. Cora comes out to join. We got 6 skaters. Kenzie, Charlotte, Cora, Harper, Olivia, and Anya. So 3:43 left. Kenzie wins it on the draw. Kenzie maintains possession in the corner. Kenzie brought down. St. Louis tries to throw it the length of the ice with an open net, and it hits a Blue Jackets player and doesn't get very far, and then they're going to call what appears to be an offside. So Peyton enters, Harper goes off. Kenzie, Charlotte, Cora, Peyton, Olivia, and Anya are the 6 on the ice with an open net. Olivia takes it in the back, throws it across to Peyton on the far side. Peyton brings it into the offensive zone. Kenzie's on the forecheck. Kenzie wins it on the back wall. Oh, tripped, and we're gonna get a penalty. All right, so Kenzie and Peyton won it on the back wall, and Peyton was trying to find some open ice and got taken down from behind. So we're going to have a 6-on-4. Yet again, St. Louis does not like the call. Seemed like a pretty straightforward one, but what do I know? Oh. The penalty box attendants looking for another explanation. Slowing the game down here. Jackets. Looks like the penalty's going to hold. I don't know what's going on. This St. Louis has really argued these two calls, and this one seemed as straightforward as you're going to get. Peyton had the puck, was trying to find space. Stick took her feet off from underneath her. I don't know much about hockey, but that's about as obvious of a tripping as I've seen. It's interesting the refs are engaging this much in this. So we're going to have a 6-on-4, 2:55 left in the third. St. Louis up 3-0. And it looks like who's staying on the ice is going to be Olivia and Anya, with 4 forwards being Peyton, Kenzie, Charlotte, and Cora. Blue Jacks can get one here. Make this thing a little more interesting. Charlotte's going to take the draw. They've got 3 forwards lined up in front of the goal. Anya's back behind Charlotte, looking like she wants to take a shot, or Olivia. Blue Jackets do win the draw. They get a shot, but it's blocked. Cora's on the wall battling. Kenzie's in there helping. St. Louis does get possession. So St. Louis clears the zone just briefly. Anya takes it back in, but not deep enough, where Olivia retrieves it on the far blue line. So Olivia to Cora. Cora in the slot, gets a shot wide. Charlotte retrieves it on the back wall. Battle ensues. Kenzie calls for it, gets knocked off her stick by a St. Louis player. Now we got Anya with some space on the blue line, loses it briefly. Oh, okay. So Anya lost the handle going for a shot. We had about 3 girls lined up for a screen. Olivia takes it, tries to fire deep, but hits her own player. Now Peyton's got it. Peyton back to Anya. Anya shoots, tons of traffic in front. It goes just wide. Past Charlotte and Kenzie, who are doing the screens. Now St. Louis player has fallen on top of the puck, up against the wall. Kenzie and Cora battle. Kenzie wins it, gets held up against the wall. St. Louis throws it up against the wall, nowhere. A shot by Peyton in the slot, glove save by goalie, no rebound. Kenzie was right there. I think Charlotte was right in the vicinity. So good job by the St. Louis goalie not giving up a rebound there. Looks like Nick's going to put some fresh legs out there. Cammy and Sid come out for the final minute 15. Eloise, Reggie, Alice, and Callie are the 6. Cammy gets her shot blocked on the blue line. The wingers for St. Louis are doing a good job coming out and just eating shots. So we haven't gotten much to the net, even on the 6-on-4 situation. Now Cammy has it. Cammy brings it into the zone, takes it into the corner herself, loses it. But single-handedly is on the forecheck. The puck rims around. Sydney doesn't quite catch it in time, and it gets out of the defensive zone. D-to-D pass to Eloise. Eloise mishandles it, and St. Louis takes it away. We got 34 seconds left. Elise gets out of the scrum with it, moves up ahead to Reggie, just ahead of her. And Elise got knocked over in the zone. The puck went in. They didn't call offsides. And St. Louis throws it the length of the ice for an icing. 13 seconds left. It's going to be an offensive zone face-off. They're going to put Charlotte, Kenzie, Harper, Peyton out there, Anya, and Olivia. It's like the same formation. They're going to put 3 forwards right in front of the net and 2 defenders. Charlotte wins the face-off to Anya. Anya gets her shot blocked. Just haven't had the space. 4 seconds. And that's going to do it. So St. Louis is going to advance 3-0 over the Blue Jackets.